Before we get started, a quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's President CEO Tansley Stern podcast, Despite Impossible. Now on to the show. Studio Lounge interviews at Emerge, brought to you by Eltropy.
Hey everybody, Mike Lawson here with CU Broadcast. Welcome back to our continued coverage of the 2025 Eltropy Emerge Conference here in beautiful San Francisco, California. And in the Studio Lounge we have Mr. Bob Hein from Fox Communication Credit Union.
Fox Communities.
Fox Community.
That's all right.
Fox Communication. I was reading your shirt. So Fox Communities Credit Union and the Fine. Where is that located?
That is in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Oh wow.
Which is just south of Green Bay.
Okay. Has spring sprung yet there, or are you guys still a little chilly?
Well, yeah, we got snow 2 weeks ago, so yes, it's getting better.
Yeah, that's good. Well, yeah, a beautiful part of the country, any time of the year for sure. So you give an incredible part of the country. So yeah, but welcome here. And my first question I'm kind of asking everybody coming here is like, what brought you to Eltropy's Emerge this year?
Well, we've been with Eltropy for just over 2.5 years.
Oh wow.
And so this has always been on our list to come to one of these, and this year it just worked out that it was time for us to get to.
First time here?
Yes, first time here.
Good. Any impression? What are your impressions so far?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean the speakers are I've taken so many notes and got my brain just completely flooded and trying to what's next, and I'm excited about what the future lies with just not only with Eltropy but just as the technology that was talked about.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of good stuff in the mornings, and we got another great panel on stage right now. But you and I are out here talking about how Fox Communities has cracked the collections code with texting. So share with us, what have you guys done here?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us is that we started doing texting about 5 years ago. The previous vendor we had went out of business, so then we got into Eltropy. And the thing that we liked about Eltropy was about the ability to run campaigns. Mm-hmm. So we were able to run large loads of accounts through the Eltropy system. So previous to us texting, we were probably averaging contacts on just phone calls, because that's really all we had, about 15%, maybe 20 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Since we switched over to Eltropy, it's been averaging since then over 50% with contacts, and so far this year, we're averaging over 70% contacts with our texting campaigns. So that's a big deal. That's a lot of members that we're talking with and trying to help, and that's really what we're in business for.
So you went from 15% to what, over 70% now, or higher?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what's the turnaround there? I mean, what's the secret sauce there? How did you guys get those numbers?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that's what members wanted. They want to communicate. They want to communicate via texting. Yeah. The generations are getting younger. Everything's about their smartphone now.
Yeah.
So they basically want to. That's the best way they want to communicate. So that's what we did. Is that they didn't want to talk about the phone because they see us calling, zip, with a text. People respond to text messages.
Yes,
I think that's the biggest thing is that we've identified that members want to communicate that way, so we're trying to communicate that way with them.
Yeah. You heard your members and you answered the bell, so to speak.
Yes.
So what types of messaging do you put in the text that gets this response?
Well, we have a lot of different
types of campaigns.
Obviously, different types of templates. Very basic because you can't get it very wordy with text messages. So we basically say, hey, you're past due with your payments, and we would like to work with you to help you. Mm-hmm. And that just if they want the help, they'll get back with us, and they do at a high rate. So that's really good.
So I'm curious. I don't know if you even know the answer, but I'm just curious about the consumer behavior when it comes to texting as opposed to a phone call or even a letter in the mail. But there's something about texting, that urgency, or that makes people respond right away.
I just think that's just what they like.
Yeah, and it's easy, convenient.
It's convenient. They can be more open.
Mm-hmm.
With when you're doing with a phone call, you're basically putting them on the spot.
Yeah, you're right.
And they can kind of control things with the texting and just say a few sentences and that's it.
Yeah.
And with a phone call, you could be on the spot for a couple of minutes or longer.
Yeah.
And they don't like that.
Yeah.
They like the idea of just, hey, I want to communicate this way, and we work with them then.
Yeah, a definite comfort factor there for sure. So where do you see this headed? What's the future of this? Do you guys have plans for the future? Or
absolutely.
How are you going to expand it? That
We definitely, we're working with Eltropy to include more integrations with them, so it's easier for us to be more efficient. And then we're also looking at the voice, where we can, if we're in with a text message with a member and we want to convert that to a phone call, and that happens. It happens more than what you would realize. But sometimes it's easier just to pick up the phone and just work through something rather than going back and forth texting.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking at that. But obviously, and Eltropy's looking at they're launching their Collections 2.0 product that we're taking a good hard look at as well to help us into the future. But we have a call with our rep of Eltropy every 2 weeks, and we're always talking about, hey, what's next? What's in the future? I'm a firm believer of it's not about today, it's about tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm always forward thinking, and that's the big thing for me, is that I'm not thinking about how we did things today, how are we going to get better tomorrow. And that's what we got a great partner in Eltropy to help us with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It sounds like you guys the future looks bright for you guys as well as your members. But you touched on something in your last response about we can text a couple of times, and then if it needs to go to a more in-depth response, you can get on the phone.
Yeah.
And that seems the right way to do it. So can you share with me that strategy? I mean, how many texts do you go through? You're like, hey, maybe we should turn this into a phone call.
Yeah, I think when the text messages start getting a little bit too wordy, or they just get into more personal information that would be better just be handled on a telephone rather than through a text, it's time to say, hey, why don't we just connect and just make a real quick call, and we probably will move this along, and you can turn a text back and forth, and you're spending, because you send a text message to somebody, and then you go on to something else, and then you get another from then, you're going back and forth. This way, you can just help the member right then, maybe put them at ease.
For sure.
And they're thinking long and hard about what they should say next. And this way we could just kind of work it out with them personally.
Yeah, and they're probably more receptive once you get them on the phone after those first few texts. So they're like, okay, all right, I'm ready to talk now and get
break down the barriers. I think that's the biggest thing that we like about texting is that if they didn't return to phone calls, they just didn't. And we just keep on trying and trying and trying. Now they feel more comfortable, so they're responding, and the contact rates speak for themselves.
Indeed. Oh yeah. The numbers are definitely off the charts for you guys. So and I think they're probably only going to get better too. So as the technology gets better. So yeah, indeed. All right, sir. Well, anything else here to add to wrap up, Bob? Before I let you get back into the room there, because there's another great panel on stage right now. So I don't want to miss you. I don't want you to miss too much.
No, I just think that I appreciate the opportunity to talk about just the overall collections and how Eltropy has helped us.
Yeah, and it helps people get out of a jam. So when you guys have a service like this, your members are probably very appreciative that they have the option to use something like this in a very challenging situation sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
Indeed, sir. All right, Bob. Well, I'll let you get back at it. Thank you so much for your time, and congrats on the success already. And I look forward to coming back. I always enjoy talking to people like a year later and seeing what the conversation is like. So I look forward to maybe circling back this time next year and seeing how things are going.
I welcome that opportunity.
It'll be fun. All right, Bob, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time, and keep up the good work.
All right.
Well done.
You.
Studio Lounge interviews at Emerge, brought to you by Eltropy. A quick word from our sponsor, Community Financial's present CEO, Tansley Stern's new podcast, Despite Impossible.